Hello and welcome back to I think episode 9 we're on now of this series to take Bristol Rovers up the football pyramid using only players born in Bristol, Bath and the surrounding area. And the thing I need to show you first is that on the 3rd of September, at the close of the summer transfer window, we are third in the Championship. The one defeat we had to Norwich, we were quite unlucky. It was level without long to go and we kind of went in for the kill. This game here went for it and they scored twice in added time. Knocked out of the EFL Cup to Wimbledon, which was a bit of a shame really, because being a Championship team you'd imagine that we could have had a bit of success in that, but it wasn't to be, unfortunately. But otherwise things are going very, very well. I need to show you the transfers. If I take you to the transfer history, a couple of big ones. After his disastrous loan, Gedekali, Everton decided they would be happy to let him go. So at a total of 1.3 million, it was a no-brainer really, and he's gone back into our team and started the season well. And we also managed to pinch Corey Hartridge from Bristol City, Bath-born, 48k, and again he's going to play a fair amount of games for the rest of the season. You can already see how much his value has gone up. As for transfers out, Luke Sweeney was one I would have liked to keep, but he just wouldn't sign a contract, so ended up going on a free to Wrexham. Ollie Wright wanted to leave, and given that he was a joint second best keeper, and we've also then got a youngster coming through, Resky, I think his name is, who can now sit on the bench. It made sense to let him go. And then a few loans, most of which have given us a small fee as well. So a really good start. I will show you how the team looks. We've gone with a 4-3-3 to start the season. It's worked very well. A lot of those players with decent potential have started to really kick on. There are a few transfers that you haven't seen yet actually, because Collins hasn't appeared. So if I go back to last season, at the end of last season, Archie Collins came in from Reading for 1.8 million. I don't think there were anybody that left other than the one loan, but he's already come back anyway. So things are going really well. The only downside is that it's still a real struggle to bring anyone in. If I look at the players who are in range and sort of by ability, again, if I look for players that are interested in coming in by transfer, the only one's Adam Gold, who we can't afford to pay 6.5, 7 million, and he only did leave last season before coming back on loan. And when it comes to players who are interested in loan, there is no one. So we'll keep scouting anyone that does ever pop up as being from the local area. We'll send the scouts out to see all of these guys now as well. But things are going really well. I'm not currently thinking about anything other than staying up this season. I think that's got to be, realistically, that's got to be the aim. But the way we started, who knows? If we can end up finishing slightly higher and cementing ourselves as a team who can play at the kind of mid-table to the top end of the Championship, then wouldn't that be great? But I will be back at the end of the January transfer window as usual, and hopefully we're still somewhere near the top half, if not the playoffs of the Championship. Hello and welcome to the first Bristol derby since 2001 in the league. It's been 30 years, over 30 years since these two teams last met in the league, so I thought I would bring it to you live. City have had a really good start to the season. They are 5th. They were right at the top of the table only a week or so ago. As you probably would have expected, we've dropped off quite significantly since our really good start to the season. But we're still mid-table, which I'm more than happy with, because I think realistically that was going to be our best possible finish we could hope for this season, was to finish somewhere near mid-table. So here we go. Okay, so it's taken until the 21st minute for a highlight. We are sat a little bit deep, but we have probably had a slightly better start. That is an unbelievable goal. We actually had a man out there closing down on the edge of the box, which meant I thought we had that under control, but I don't think there's much we can do about that. 1-0 City. Again, another City corner. They haven't gone to the edge of the box this time. Although I don't like the fact that there is still a man on the edge of the box. Again, we've got players out and well blocked. It'd be frustrating if we end up losing this to long shots, but hopefully we can get control over the ball again. We've pushed them back quite nicely, but that's a good ball and they probably should have scored. So I made 5 changes at half time because we barely had a kick in this game, and it's taken until the 82nd minute to get our first highlight, and we've won a penalty. Ep9 is limping around on the field, and obviously having made the changes I can't really do much about it, but hopefully Collins can get us back into this game. 1-1, come on. Again, I think I'm going to stay attacking and try and go and get this win because, well, I mean the XG is massively helped by our penalty, isn't it? But we've got to try and win the first Bristol derby, haven't we? We've got to. Okay, another chance. We've hit the post and the bar, I think. It's still alive. Dewsbury! Yes! Whew. Right, now we are absolutely going to park the bus. Let's get this paused. Let's get the fullbacks sitting deeper. Let's bring the holding midfielders deeper. Can we? Yeah, we'll do the other way around. How deep can we bring our midfield? I think Ware can play only on the right, but if we do this, are they better? Yeah, let's go that way around. Let's go defensive winger. Let's go ball winning midfield on defend, and then we'll have Collins as the defensive midfielder. Is there anything else we can do? Not really, but let's really try and shut up shop and win this game. Also, I love Dewsbury dancing in front of their fans. That's so good. The goal again, post and bar. I'm not sure who that was that kept it alive. Wilson kept it alive, and then Dewsbury popped it in the top corner. 4 minutes to go. We are absolutely going to sit as deep as we possibly can now. Once we get to the 90th minute, I'll go. Oh, this would be a shame. Can we win it back on the edge? No, we should be able to win the header. We have. We are sat deep, so we've got a lot of men in the box to win anything that comes in. Just don't give away any stupid fouls. We should be able to win the header. And again, although we probably should have done better with that clearance and tried to keep the ball. They're throwing a lot of men forward, but just throwing it into the box, and that's gone over the bar. And I think that should be pretty much it. This would be a huge win in terms of getting our form going again. Let's go very defensive for the last 4 minutes now of added time. 3 minutes of added time. Can we hold out? 2 minutes of added time. The keeper's gone for City. 1 minute to hold out. Oh, highlighting that. This would be brutal. Can we just get? I think we just need one tackle here. One tackle and the ball cleared. That's oh. With that many men deep, I cannot believe someone hasn't gone with him to win that and stop that ball from either coming across or to cut it out when it did come across. Well, it's a thriller in the first Bristol derby in the league in 30 years, but one that we're probably a little bit disappointed that we haven't won at Ashton Gate. But are we back again come the end of the January window, when hopefully we will be a little bit further up the table, but again I can't really complain about the start we've had. Hello, so we are at the end of the January transfer window, and pretty much what you would have already seen in the video has continued, in that we've pretty much just continued to slide down the league. We are currently 17th, opened up a 7-point gap over the relegation zone. Just got to try and hold on to this season. We're really not as good as a lot of the other teams in the league. Unfortunately, City are running away with the league as well, which, given that we should have beaten them, is a little bit frustrating. This is how we're looking. Again, you can see the issue is just we've got no goals. Dewsbury's averaging a 6.4, Gonzalo was 6.6, although he did score finally in the last game after quite a long spell without scoring. Morrison has learnt to play up front, but again he's averaging a 6.6, so we are really struggling. Whether we move Gedikali up front, I guess, is one thing that we could consider in the second half of the season, but not great. If I show the transfers, there was one significant incoming, and that was Ashley Denton has come in from City. I've kept a scout on all the City players, and if I've got find someone that's unhappy, literally never played for them. He was from Midsummer Norton, so it made sense to bring him in. He's played a few times and will, I think, take over that position at left back eventually once he develops a little bit more. As for transfers out, we've got a couple of loans again that have moved out, but that is that really. So a pretty short update for you here at the end of January, but I will be back again at the end of the season and hopefully we will have survived. So we've reached the final day of the season, and I think anyone who in the early part of this video heard my concerns about just making sure we've stayed up, having been in the playoffs after the first couple of months, I knew what was coming. Given a couple of years ago when we basically went 5-6 months and only won one game, basically the same thing happened. It wasn't close, so it's not like we were only just relegated, but we didn't win a game after the 20th of January, and in fact this calendar year we have 5 points, 1 win. We can go back to basically the start of December and we've only won 2 games. It wasn't a surprise really. I knew that our team wasn't good enough, and it's not like we're looking at this thinking, oh, we were only just relegated, we were a bit unlucky. We were miles away, absolutely miles away. 11 points in the end, behind Huddersfield. I guess the good news is that Wigan and Derby aren't particularly significantly strong teams that have come down with us, so maybe there's a chance of us going back up. But again, I was somewhat expecting this. Look at the average ratings, no one anywhere near a 7. Gedikali's ended up being our best player again, slightly just ahead of Kofi Shaw. A couple of big issues really. First of all, if we look at the goalkeepers, Jed Ward has ended up on a 6.78, but he was down at a 6.3-ish at one point, so we haven't had a goalkeeper that's capable of playing at that level. You can see what he's done in his last 4, actually 6.44. And as for going forward and the amount of goals, Gonzalo 15, no one else has got, well, Morrison 6, but no one else more than 5. We just haven't got the squad. We're not really at the championship level. I've basically put the kids out for the last month because there was no point trying to do anything other than that, given how poor we were playing and the fact that we were already relegated. So I think it needs a bit of a rethink really. I mean, it's hard to know how we can rethink it because we can't sign anyone. I have lined up a few signings that are going to come on the 1st of July. Just again, anyone that was interested that could possibly play for us. There isn't really anyone leaving either at the end of this season, which I guess is the other good thing. If I sort this, if I show you contracts and when they expire, Nurse is retiring, Kelly is retiring, and MHG has dropped so far down the pecking order now that it's just not worth keeping out, and he was on a lot of money in doing so. I think one concern that I have noticed is if we look at the hierarchy, we have actually got team leaders. It did occur to me that we had quite a young squad, but we do have team leaders, and we've got quite a lot of highly influential players that have been at the club quite a while. So that's that. Unfortunately, we have had a takeover. We may well get the sack. Yeah, sacked. So I think that is actually probably the end of the series because I don't think there's any point carrying on. we don't manage the club anymore. But it was good fun. It was a good test of whether this idea was doable, and it wasn't. I think was the lesson we've learned. It just wasn't possible to only recruit locally. The reason we've been sacked mainly is because we had a board takeover, and obviously the new board didn't fancy us given the relegation, despite the previous success. But that is that. So I hope you've enjoyed this series. I think we took the club as far as we can go. It might be something that I try in FM26 when that comes out in November. I always do a save with Rovers and always take them to kind of Champions League success. But we could try this again if people want to see it. We have got EAFC 26, what used to be FIFA, coming out this week. So there'll be a few videos on the channel as we begin to. I think first thing we'll do is try and pack as many of the Rovers players as we can out of bronze and silver packs, and then begin the process of trying to upgrade them as much as we can before the end of the game. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this series. Please do subscribe to see what we do next, and leave a like or comment if you've enjoyed what you've seen or have any ideas. And I'll see you in the next video.